stage light, endless applause, millions of admiring eyes following every step. That's all the world sees when mentioning Katrina Balfe, the woman who plays Claire Fraser in the hit series Outlander. But behind the perfect makeup and gentle smile, there is a deep truth that she has hidden for many years, a story that no one knows. Until today, in an exclusive interview with Vanity Fair, Katrina suddenly revealed a secret that stunned the entire crew and made fans cry. "I made the biggest mistake of my life, with my own son, and I don't know if I can forgive myself." With red eyes and a choked voice, Katrina recalled the moment she became a first-time mother when her son Louis was born. At that time, Outlander was in its peak filming season. Pressure from producers, from schedules, from the expectations of millions of viewers, forced her to make the decision to return to the set just 6 weeks after giving birth. I still remember clearly the image of Louis lying on the bed, his tiny hand tightly holding mine. I was begging him to forgive me while I turned away, closed the door, and left him behind. The long nights of filming in the cold of Scotland, the times returning to the hotel just to open the phone and see the video of her child smiling for the first time, saying, "Mama." But she was not there. Not once. I chose work over motherhood. The most painful thing is that I believed it was the right thing to do. Katrina is the ideal model of modern women, talented, famous, and respected by professionals. But behind that halo, there were nights when she quietly watched her child through the screen, the days when her son gradually became distant. I don't blame the crew. They've always supported me. But it was my fault. I didn't know how to say no. When Louis was almost 2 years old, Katrina realized something had changed. He no longer ran to hug his mother every time she came home. Instead, he looked at her strangely warily and then turned away. I cried all night. In that moment, I realized I wasn't just distant from my son. I had lost the most sacred thing, the trust of my own child. It was that shock that made Katrina make a decisive choice to put her entire career on hold after the final season of Outlander. She turned down an offer from a major European film, withdrawing from the dream role she had longed for years. No role is more important than being there for my child as he grows up. I don't want to be a successful mother via FaceTime anymore. Katrina now spends almost all of her time with Louis. From taking her to kindergarten, planting trees together, reading bedtime stories, to waking up in the mornings and holding her for a long time. And the miracle happened. He called me Mama again in a happy voice. And for the first time in years, I felt alive. Immediately after the interview was published, social media exploded. Thousands of mothers around the world shared their stories, sending words of encouragement to Katrina. The hashtag, #WhereYouKatrina, quickly became a global trend. Sam Hogan, Katrina's co-star and close friend for many years, posted a photo of the two together on set with a short message. "I used to think she was a great actress. Now I know. She is the bravest mother I have ever met. No longer the strong Claire Fraser on screen. No longer the proud red carpet icon." In that moment, the audience saw only a real mother, learning to heal to face herself. Katrina shared that it was the constant filming pace of Outlander for more than 10 years that made her forget the concept of rest. As an actress over 35, you always live in fear of being left behind. Fear that if you stop, no one will remember you anymore. I was caught up in that vortex. And Louis was the one who paid the price. The years of success built a wall between Katrina and her family. But when her son started asking, "Where do you go every day? Where were you when I had a fever?" that wall began to crack. I used to think that loving my son was enough. But it turns out love is not just an emotion, it is a presence. Katrina's story is not only a mother's heartbreak, but also a wake-up call for thousands of women trying to balance career and family. Perhaps behind the spotlight and the accolades, what Katrina needs most and deserves most is not fame, but forgiveness from herself and from her young son, who is learning to call her Mama, again. The decision to spend time with her son was not an easy one in the competitive entertainment world. Behind the choices were angry directors, canceled contracts, and a steady stream of silent criticism that Katrina endured. Many people told me I was missing out on a golden opportunity, she says. But in my heart, I knew I was finding the most precious thing in my life. Katrina vividly remembers those first mornings at home. Louis was still distant, sitting alone in the corner, looking strangely at his mother, not saying much. She took her time. She relearned how to be friends with her son, little by little, slowly and patiently, to remove the fear that had been ingrained in the child's heart throughout his early years. I read books with him. I made cookies, listened to the silly stories he made up. And then I realized those little things were magic. One day as Katrina sat reading in the living room, Louis quietly walked over, leaned his head on her mother's lap, and whispered the 3 words she had been waiting for 2 years. "I love you, Mom." She burst into tears, but this time they were tears of joy. Katrina has never considered herself a perfect mother. She still makes mistakes. There are still exhausting nights when Louis cries incessantly. But unlike before, she no longer runs from the fatigue or the responsibility. Motherhood is not about the glamorous photos on Instagram. It's tiring, it's messy, it's challenging, but it's also the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. Now every night before bed, Katrina and her son have a special ritual, sharing 3 things that made them happy during the day, learning to appreciate the little moments in life. According to Katrina, this is slowly reconnecting the emotional bond between mother and son. After taking a break from acting, Katrina hasn't disappeared from the entertainment world. Instead, she's planning a special documentary project focusing on the motherhood journeys of women in the entertainment industry. The stories aren't flattering. They're not glamorous. They're just the raw truths of women who have chosen to put their children before their fame. We need more space to talk about the complexities of motherhood. No one should feel guilty for choosing their children over $1 million contract. When asked about the project, Sam Hogan, who has followed Katrina for years, was quick to express his support. "I've watched her fight silently for years. She's strong in a way that few people know about. I believe this project will help other mothers find their voice." Just before the interview ended, Katrina suddenly pulled out a piece of paper, a handwritten letter she had written specifically for her son as part of her healing journey. "Dear Louis, I used to think that if I worked hard, I would create a better world for you. But I forgot you don't need a big world. You just need me. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long, but from now on I'll be here, not just for a moment, but every step of the way. I love you forever. Mom." When the stage lights went out, when the applause died down, what remained was not the glory or the fame. What remained was a mother, learning to slow down to hold her child's hand. Perhaps no one is truly ready to be a parent. There is no perfect script. There is no filming schedule that stops for late hugs. And none of us have never made mistakes. But the magic is love always has a chance to start over. Katrina's story is not just the journey of a famous mother. It is a reminder for all of us that sometimes the greatest things are not at the peak of your career, but in the eyes of a child waiting for you to return. If you feel like you are not good enough, not enough time, not perfect enough, then remember, children don't need a perfect mother. They just need a mother who is present. And sometimes just a hug, "I love you," is enough to start all over again.